Morning. I have an interesting case study this morning. I have a Peugeot Partner 2011 with the 1.6 HDI diesel engine. This is the lad here. And it came into the garage. It was towed in with a wouldn't start. And turned out that the initial diagnosis was that the starter motor had burned out. A colleague of mine replaced the starter motor last night, came in, took it out, like that it was burnt out. He went to connect the battery up after fitting it, and straight away with the ignition key out of the ignition, the starter started engaging and spinning up, and obviously there's an underlying problem here. So I just want to run through with you what I've found so far and the diagnosis, and quite an interesting one. I'm led to believe it's a common enough problem, so if this helps anybody else out of the problem, then that's great. So I'd love to be able to show you exactly what the problem is. However, I'm afraid it's going to wreck the new starter motor. As you can see here on the positive terminal, there's lots of sort of burn marks from where the terminal has been sort of placed on and off the battery. The massive current draw from the starter straight away. So what I've done to isolate the starter from the circuit is actually removed this connector from the multifunction control module. It's this white wire on pin number 2 which actually feeds the solenoid to the starter, and that is what is being energized at all times. Now, I consulted a wiring diagram. The way the system works is when you put the key into the ignition and you turn it to the start position and you crank it, which I'm doing now. It's not going to crank because I have that that connector disconnected. It sends it energizes 2 relays, one energizes the other, and then it sends the 12 volt signal out down this white wire to the solenoid. The solenoid engages the pinion gear with the flywheel, and that also makes the circuit for the high voltage power cable down to the starter, which turns the engine over. Right, so it's a new day. Yesterday I had a bit of an issue with the filming. The camera went dead. The point I was trying to show you was that this module is actually the fault. Just get you on it here. Yeah, so pin number 2 on this yellow connector was staying live at all times with the ignition key out of the ignition. The fault seems to be internal. These relays, the relay for the starter motor was actually sticking on, latching on, not unlatching. It actually fixed itself with a little tap with a screwdriver. It sprung loose. But as a precaution against it happening again, we are going to replace this module. They're about 180 euros through the dealer. Comes with all the fuses pre-installed. So it's literally a plug and play device. There's no sort of immobilizer function built into it, so there's no need for coding. With the key out of the ignition, I have a test light connected to good ground. Just make sure it's working. And on the output wire from the control module, the key out of the ignition, we have it's energized. Here she is, back into life. There's no whine out of the starter motor anymore, which means it's not engaging. It's a fairly handy fit, as I say. 4 connectors, a couple of plastic tabs, one at the back, one at the sides here, and one at the front, and a 13mm nut. And the whole thing pops up. There's a bank of maxi fuses underneath it, which again they're just clipped into the base of this fuse box relay plate. But that's it, that's the fix. Yeah, I'll catch you on the next one.